everyone, Josh here at House Guitars, back at the building a house guitar video series, and we're continuing work on the top. If you watched the last top video, you would have seen how I installed the rosette. Very nice rosette on this guitar. It's going to look great with the rest of the guitar. This video I want to focus on the bracing, and so the top now is ready to be braced, and you can see a very a sketch here of my bracing placement. And for this video I'm going to be doing a bunch of stuff off camera just because there's a lot of different gluing steps, but I will stop periodically along the way to shoot more clips and just kind of explain what's going on. But the foundation of the top bracing on all of my guitars is a double X pattern. So you have your main X brace, which is fairly standard for steel string acoustics. Then I have a smaller symmetrical X pattern here, and I use the same outline for the bracing pattern on all my guitars. What I do is I change the angle of the brace as well as the placement of the lower X depending on the size and shape of the body. And if it's a really large guitar, I may even include some additional bracing in the lower bout area. There's a lot of different theory around bracing guitar tops, and there's some guys that believe that you can kind of split the top in half, and well, one side contributes more to the bass, one side contributes more to the treble. And so I've seen a lot of different guys do experiments with thicker on one side, thinner on one side, and my personal belief is that the top is a single unit, and there's no real way that you can break it up into a bunch of different sections. But I believe that you need a lot of strength around the sound hole area of the top, because that's where most of the stress is. You've got your bridge down here, the neck up here, and with the big opening in the sound hole, this is where the greatest stress is going to be placed on the top. So I tend to really brace this part in the upper bouts very strong, and you'll see when in the video that shows the neck block, and you'll see that in future videos as well, that the neck block will butt right up against the bracing, which each brace is interconnected with the rest of the bracing to create a very strong unit for the top. But I believe in focusing the strength up here, and then my bracing kind of lightens out more in the lower bout area, which I believe is where most of the sound is coming from, in and around the bridge here. So I'll maybe explain a little more about that, and you'll see some of the shape and how I carve the braces in the video. But the first thing that I do is I glue a patch. It's just going to be a spruce patch. It's got the grain running in this direction as opposed to the top grain, which is running top to bottom. And I'm going to start by gluing that patch and cutting out the sound hole. And when you come back, you'll see that that's completed. And then I'm going to start gluing the bracing in the lower bout. Okay, so I've completed the bracing on the top of the guitar, and you can see that here. The top is pretty much ready to be glued on, but before I continue talking about that, I'll just show you the rim and back assembly here that's all ready to receive the top. The inside of the guitar has been sprayed with a very light coat of shellac, and I spray just a very light 1 pound cut of shellac. And the purpose of the shellac on the inside of the guitar is just to slow down the rate at which the wood absorbs moisture. This is just a regular shellac, de-waxed, and shellac is a breathable finish. So it's not totally sealing up the wood, but it slows down the rate that the wood will absorb moisture. And so if the instrument goes through rapid changes in humidity, I've found this with touring musicians who play a lot of outdoor festivals in the summer, maybe are outdoors in high humidity and then indoors in air conditioning where the humidity is a lot lower. The shock of continual swings in humidity can be hard on an instrument. So this just slows the rate at which the wood will adapt to different environments, and so it just keeps it more stable. And it also makes the inside of the guitar look nice, although you'll rarely see much of that once the top goes on. So the inside of the top will receive the light coat of shellac as well, with the exception of the gluing surface around the outer rim and the bridge plate. So here you see the L-shaped, upside down L-shaped neck block. The channel in it is for truss rod access. And you can see on the top here, there's the truss rod access hole. And the purpose, I talked a little bit about this when I did the block video on the neck block and tail block, but the end of the neck block here will butt up tight against the upper transverse brace. And so in order for the guitar to, the guitar's wanting to fold up under string tension. Like I said in one of the other videos, 160 approximate pounds of string tension, again depending on string gauge and setup for an acoustic guitar. But the block is now pressing up against the upper transverse brace, and all the rest of the bracing on the top is interconnected, interlocked, and what you get is a very stable instrument. And I've been able to watch some of my instruments going back more than 10 years now, and seeing virtually no movement in the tops around the fretboard area. And I've seen some vintage instruments come in where the guitars have begun to fold up, and you usually see the top starting to collapse in the area around the sound hole, around the neck block. And so that's what I'm trying to prevent with the neck block the way it is, butting up against the upper transverse brace. So other than that, solid liners have been notched out to fit the upper transverse brace and the top of the X brace. And the rest of if you want to know more about what you're seeing here, you can go back and watch the video on the rim as well as gluing the back on the guitar. So just before I glue the top on, just a quick look at the top bracing. And I believe I mentioned this in an earlier video, but I use a symmetrical double X bracing pattern for all my instruments. I do vary the size and the angle of the bracing depending on the model, but most of the bracing looks similar to what you're going to see here, with the main X brace and a smaller X brace underneath. Here you see the maple bridge plate, and what you're seeing here is some spruce patches, and they're very small, very light patches, add virtually no weight to the top of the instrument, and they're just to add just a little extra stability right in around the bridge area. The bridge is where all that tension is trying to peel the bridge off the top of the guitar, and so I found that just adding a few extra little pieces in that area just helps to counteract the tension that the top is going to receive from the bridge. Now, along the edge here, you'll notice that all the braces in the lower bout actually stop short of the liners. Only the braces in the upper bout are fitted into the liners. And so this just loosens up the top in the lower bout, which is the primary vibrating surface. This is where the tone is mainly generated. Up here, my concern is with just making it as strong as possible to counteract the string tension. So there's a patch, a reinforcement patch around the sound hole, some small finger braces there. This bracing in here does make it extremely strong. So the purpose of the veneer patches up here is just to add just thicken up the the top just a hair, just add a little bit of reinforcement, but with the neck block essentially filling in this area directly under the fretboard, there's not a need to really put much in these areas over here. I use the green veneer just because the purfling on this guitar is green, and if you look at the inside, you can't really see it in the light, but there is going to be a sound port put in here, and I use the green veneer as well. You'll just see the edge of that when the sound port is cut, so just a little extra detail there. So I'm going to go ahead and put the shellac on the inside of the top. I will sign my name right in this section here so that you can see it through the side sound port. And I'm going to do that off camera, and then to wrap up the video you'll just see me gluing the top on. So if you've enjoyed this video, please visit my YouTube channel. You can watch more of the videos in the Building a House Guitars video series. This LG guitar is on its way to Paramount Guitars in Wisconsin, and it will be arriving there later in the summer of 2016. And if you're in the States, be sure to check out Paramount's website, ParamountGuitars.com. Ken Fox has a good selection of my instruments in stock. And if you're in Canada or any other part of the world and you have questions about getting one of my instruments, you can contact me through my website, houseguitars.com.